Hello and welcome to the history of Firefly. Today's episode, Captain Malcolm Reynolds. And here we go. Mal Reynolds, is a human man. He was the captain of the Firefly-class transport ship Serenity. During the Unification War, Mal fought for the independence and was the highest-ranking Browncoat to participate in and survive the Battle of Serenity Valley. Mal was born on September 20th, 2468, and was brought up on a ranch in Seven Pines Pass, on the planet Shadow. Raised by his mother and about 40 hens, Mal apparently received a fairly decent education growing up. Though Mal usually seems more practical than intellectual, he occasionally surprises friends by displaying a familiarity with a wide range of literature varying from the works of Shang Yu, a psychotic dictator, to the poems of Samuel Taylor Coleridge. He, however, has no idea who Mona Lisa was. Mal volunteered for the Independence Army during the Unification War against the Alliance, gaining the rank of sergeant during that time. His second-in-command, Zoe, was by his side for most of the war, surviving many dangerous conflicts with him, such as the Battle of Duquesne in 2510 and a long winter campaign in New Kashmir, where he commanded a platoon. Mal was also involved in the ground campaign during the Battle of Sturgis, which, according to Badger, was the bloodiest and shortest battle in all of the war, although Mal considered it to be a distant second. Mal fought in many more battles, but the turning point for him and the independence came with their physical and emotional defeat at the Battle of Serenity Valley. In the aftermath of the war, Mal saw a spacefaring life as an escape from his past battles. To this end, Mal acquired his own ship, an old, broken, and non-flight-worthy 03K-64 Firefly-class transport, whose previous owner was a man named Captain Harbatkin, and he never got around to changing the registration papers. He promptly named the ship Serenity. On board Serenity and during his various travels, Mal continued to wear his brown coat and wielded a standard-issue officer's pistol, a Liberty hammer, as his weapon of choice, a gun which he had had ever since the war and had modified extensively. It seemed that the war, and particularly the Battle of Serenity Valley, destroyed Mal's religious beliefs. He spoke of God when rallying his troops, and kissed a cross hanging from his neck before going into battle during the Battle of Serenity Valley. Later, however, he was uncomfortable having Shepherd Book on his ship, and the difference of opinion on the matter of religion was a constant source of conflict between the two. Though Mal lost his faith in God and religion, he attained a strong faith in humanity. He mentioned to River Tam that he had risked the lives of his crew on the theory that River was a human and not just a living weapon, as the operative claimed. Though wary in his personal dealings, he put stock in the fundamental goodness of people in general. This faith in an individual's ability to do the right thing manifested strongly in his very negative view of the governmental institutions. Governments, he said, are for getting in a man's way. The Alliance, whose government seemed particularly fond of interference and regulation, was thus his ideological nemesis. His contempt for the Alliance never completely disappeared, and although he was on the losing side of the Unification War, years later he still wasn't convinced it was the wrong one. Mal expressed what seemed to be his manifesto. The Alliance will swing back to the belief that they can make people better. And I don't hold to that. So no more running. I aim to misbehave. His anti-government attitude was reflected in his choice to live on a spaceship, drifting from world to world, as far away from the Alliance interference as possible. The ship was a mean of escaping the loss of the war and the resulting Alliance dominance over the systems, and Mal's attempt to get by in a universe that had forsaken him. He took whatever jobs he could get, turning a blind eye, if he could, to the legitimacy of the job, but never doing the wrong thing in terms of morality. He will happily steal medical supplies from Ariel for sale on the black market, as none of it will be missed by the Central Planets. But in the episode The Train Job, he returns the medicine he discovers is stolen, as he knows the Alliance won't get another shipment to them in time. He was a man of compassion with a strong sense of nobility. He was, however, an anti-hero, and would kill those who threatened him with a philosophy that if someone tries to kill you, you try to kill them right back. He was not above joking with his crew or picking bar fights, but he always retained his honor in the face of adversity. What separates him from typical heroes was Mal was the type of person who was willing to shoot first and skip the question, and sometimes not even bothering with a fair fight. He was not above petty theft, smuggling, or even killing, but often rationalized such behavior to make it appear more noble or valiant, such as stealing from slavers. He was very protective of his crew and fiercely loyal. He retained the idea that you never left someone behind, and once you are a part of his crew, you are assured his protection. He treated an attack on a member of his crew as being tantamount to a direct assault on him and would not stand for it. He was also a natural leader, inspiring loyalty that was reciprocated, as was shown in both his war experiences and his relationship with his crew. It was hinted that Mal and Inara, a courtesan or companion, had strong feelings for one another. Both tried to hide their true feelings, and seemed only to release the tension by quarreling most of the time. During the Serenity novelization, River states that, next to Simon, Mal is the one she feels closest to, as they are both, in their own way, damaged. He was the only person she knew who lived in as much pain as she did.